From Castle Rexworth and Rexworth Estates, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and whenever you are. My name is Rexworth, Lord Rexworth, and I welcome you to a special Monday night stream. We're going to be playing some Dave the Diver. But first, Blue Ashlyn, hello, hello. And Jedi, thank you for redeeming first. Ashlyn, thank you for redeeming not first. Also, hello. Good news on that front, Jedi. Got orientation at 2 o'clock. That's good. That's good. Safe to say, happy, but once winter rolls around, I would be nervous. Don't be nervous, Jedi. You've got this. You start letting the nerves get to you. That's basically when you start to fuck everything up. So don't do that. Don't be nervous. Privat Comrade Rex, hello Dimitri, good to see you. Been slow day, finished all commissions last week. Winter's a slow time for Dimitri. Probably go world hopping during the winter, visit Japan, go to Norway. Definitely visit Italy and bring an appetite. Someone's grandmother will look at Dimitri like stuffing him to death is impossible. That sounds like quite the itinerary, and I can't think of a better way to spend the winter time. That sounds fantastic. I mean, if your forge can't keep you warm during the winter, might as well go to some places that may be a bit warmer, and stay on the move, see the sights, see the world. It's a big blue world out there, and life's too short to just stay at home all the time. I'm here to stay for a bit. Stay as long as you like, Ashlyn. Annie, hello, hello. Good to see you. It's not work that'll make me nervous. It's driving that makes me nervous because ice on the road. I mean, depending on how far away you live, I mean, it might not be that bad, but yeah, it's especially when you're working retail or perhaps you're in some sort of critical infrastructure like I used to be. Yeah, even if there's ice on the road, come rain or shine, you got to go in. So, builds character. May as well embrace the suck. So, get used to it. It's not going to be forever. Eventually, you'll probably find yourself a cush office job, but you don't have to worry about that anymore. Dimitri eats enough for 10 people. Yeah, you need the calories for as hard as you work. Yeah. But quick housekeeping items to get out of the way. Do make sure you're following me across all platforms. Go to lordrexworth.com. That's lordrexworth.com. Make sure especially that you're following me on Twitter, because there's some things that this particular VTuber has to say over on Twitter, and some thoughts that he likes to share. We'll get into that in just a moment. Let's see. There's also the Castle Rexworth Discord. If you're over the age of 18, feel free to join up. Let's see. If you're feeling generous, you can always buy something off my throne page for me. I always appreciate that. And then my comms are open. Just buy me a coffee. There's the link in the chat. But yeah, thanks everyone for turning out, especially on a day that has not been my normal stream day, for a variety of reasons. Normally I would be working tonight at my second job, but because it is the Columbus Day holiday, my second job is closed, and I just decided to use a floating holiday because apparently my day job decided they're not going to recognize an actual federal holiday in the United States. Because reasons, I guess. I don't know. But we'll get into some of that in a bit. Let's see. I need to make sure my browser audio is turned on here for this, because I'm going to do maybe a brief little yappy up before we get into Dave the Diver. Let's do a window capture here. And fit to screen. Let's turn off video. Need to do that on both of both my scenes here. Yeah, so, let's see, a couple of days ago, Chris Broad was on CDog VA's stream to chat a bit, and the topic of Mr. Beast and Logan Paul came up. Let's see what they had to say about that. Oh, I've seen that when I first logged into Twitter today. Yeah, there's it prompted another response from Chris Broad, but I had some interesting thoughts on the matter, and but yeah, let's have a listen.
Did you? I want to see if you saw. Did you see the Mr. Beast thing where he rented out the theatre to eat his Lunchables and watch the Talk Tour podcast?
What a fucking idiot!
Do you know Talk Tour? Do you know the Hawk Tour girl?
Yeah, I know. Gotta give me that Hawk Tour.
What did you think about Mr. Beast's generational fall off?
What do you think first, Because I mean, anyone that thinks Mr. Beast is about anything other than making himself the richest YouTuber in the world has missed something.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Reed, 2 years ago, had a video call with he's left him. His manager Reed a year or two ago.
Yeah,
he was nice enough, but they were very much like, "How can you make us more money?" And I was like, "I mean, I like to make videos that are fun and educational." And like, "Yeah, but money. That's all we."
Yeah, that seems to be, if that's all your angle is making money. You may succeed for the time, but it's going to catch on that, you know, people are just going to catch on to that, to say that you're not really authentic. You know, if you're just there to cash the checks, it's like, what the fuck are you still doing? Get out. I mean, and it's not like Mr. Beast needs the money anymore anyway. He's probably got more money now than he knows what to do with. It just seems as though it's something that started out as, you know, maybe good intentioned, but has devolved into a money grab. And that's all it really is.
We care about. And that day, after the call with Reed, I was going surfing with Felix.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know, I'm actually going to see Felix in a minute. And they were like, you know, we want to have Mr. Beast, Jimmy come over, and we're going to have this, we want to do like a handoff. Where, like, you know, from one YouTuber to the next, to the top of their game. And I was like, this just sounds the most pretentious fucking shit I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, great.
That very pretentious. That it's like, why do that? That just sounds like, it just sounds like a masturbatory conversation that the Mr. Beast crew had in a conference at some point, and nobody dared to stand up and say, you people sound like the most fatuous, pretentious morons. Seriously, this is fucking stupid, and you people are absolutely fucking cringe. Nobody had the nerve. That's the thing these days. Nobody really has the nerve to stand up in meetings and say, this is an absolutely terrible idea and we should not be doing this. But just about anything. Because too many people are scared of losing their jobs for being a proper wet blanket. Because sometimes it's needed. Because let's face it, a lot of things that come out of these meetings are just the absolute cringe ideas. Dimitri's going to be a food tourist, maybe shut down restaurant with how much Dimitri eats. You're going to be like Homer Simpson in the with the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Yeah, 'tis not a man, but an eating machine.
And like, of course Felix wants that. Come on over and just, you know, hand some sort of weird trophy or something. I was just very lame. I remember talking.
No, even PewDiePie would say, this is fucking cringe. Fuck off. Maybe. Never know.
Felix, I was just like, this is just so lame now.
I mean,
is this all YouTube is now?
Yeah,
is it all just money?
Yeah,
is
well, mostly. Yeah, mostly.
And then he teamed up with Logan Paul, and that tells you what you need to know. Literally, he teamed up with Logan Paul, the biggest, can I say the C word?
Yeah.
Like,
Go on.
biggest fucking cunt there is, right? I mean, everybody seems to have
Yes.
forgotten what.
Absolutely agree, 100%. Logan Paul is an absolute cunt. Both of the Paul brothers, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're both cunts. And honestly, they could just go die in a fire and the world would be better off. Absolutely atrocious, terrible, despicable people. Absolutely despicable excuses for human beings. And we'll get into Chris's reasonings here momentarily.
What a massive cunt Logan Paul is.
Well, I mean,
right?
it's back.
If he's not filming somebody who's recently taken their own life, literally hanging from a tree in the forest and making it about themselves, somebody who has exploited their viewers.
Yeah, that happened years ago, but it was a thing where he went over to Japan, acted like a complete just arse in public. Acted like a total cunt in public. And then proceeded to go to what is known as a suicide forest, which is a famous place where, rather infamous, because a lot of people go to this remote forest to take their own life. And most people would have the good sense to know this is not a place where you want to be filming. This is if you were working in the broadcasting business, in television or in film or something like that, the studio or the network or someone from Standards and Practices would reach out to you and tell you, you cannot film here. You cannot film in this environment. You cannot bring back anything with that on there. We cannot put that on the air. Because it is showing dead bodies. It's showing people who have taken their own lives. It's like, you can't put that on television. I mean, you can't really put it on television anywhere in the world. And you also cannot put that up on YouTube. I mean, not without at least blurring it out. But still, most thinking people have the good sense to say, we're not going to do this. Not here. Not now. We're not going to use this for clickbait and for views. There are certain limits. Logan Paul has demonstrated he has no such scruples. He has no such limits. He's just like anything and everything for money and for views and for attention. Whatever it takes. No limits whatsoever. Please excuse me, my dear lord. This gremlin need to leave for now. Please enjoy your time stream. Remember to hydrate. All right, Ashland. Thank you. Lurkies and joke. What's in a ghost's nose? Boogers. Hello, quiet cuties. Jedi, thank you for the hydrate. Dimitri not scared of Paul brothers. Dimitri broadcast arse beating worldwide. They have fake muscle from steroids. They probably do. I'm still looking forward to the fight between who is it? Logan Paul and Mike Tyson. I want Mike Tyson to just beat Logan Paul to a bloody pulp. Please, Mike Tyson, beat him to a bloody pulp and bite off both of his ears. Just please leave him unrecognizable. Because it's those sorts of people that the only way they're going to understand is if they get a proper arse beating. Dimitri is master blacksmith, muscles gained from working many hours every day. Yeah, you did it the organic way. They just injected a bunch of steroids and probably drank women's breast milk and, consumed bull semen or something like that. Honestly, I would love to see an angle in WWE between Shinsuke Nakamura and Logan that used his Suicide Forest video as fuel for the feud since Shinsuke is from Japan. Problem with that is, with WWE, it's all fake, and I want the arse beating to be real. That's my issue with that. Anyway, let's keep going.
is through cryptocurrency scams, and like you should.
Oh yeah, there's the other thing. Logan Paul, the Paul brothers, have basically run a cryptocurrency scam. I think it has been outed as a complete and total scam. They just took people's money. They just up and took people's money, and they don't have any intention of paying anyone back. They just stole people's money. Yeah, that's right. I said it. The Paul brothers are thieves. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, you're thieves. You are both thieves who stole people's money. You are thieving bastards. You're also cunts.
With these sort of people.
Yeah, it is an odd choice. He does seem to love Logan a lot, and it business-wise.
But you and I know behind the scenes, you've heard bad things about Mr. Beast for years.
Yeah, you hear rumors. I've heard a lot of rumors.
Yeah, right.
Yes, rumors of kitty diddling and other forms of abuse going on, which they covered up and swept under the rug because, again, they're all about the money. Mr. Beast has stopped being about actually helping people or, doing some good in the world. He's now just cashing the checks. That's all he cares about is the money. And he doesn't care about what sort of crimes or abuse he has to cover up in order to keep the gravy train going. It's disgusting behavior.
Nothing that's substantial. It's just more like.
And I don't think he's he's pure evil or anything like that. No. I just think people need.
I don't know. I'd probably go so far as to say maybe not pure evil, but evil enough. Dimitri tear Paul brothers apart. They're sukas. Indeed they are. Also, I did not know that you could do that with Seribot, Jedi. Well done.
Need to look past the philanthropy, which is solely designed for his own benefit. It's philanthropy washing. It's whitewashing of a reputation. It's reputation laundering of sorts, where he thinks he can just sort of drown out the bad press by donating a lot of money to charity or doing a bunch of public charitable whatever. The biggest... Hang on. Jedi, what the hell are you doing with Seribot? The biggest knight at King Arthur's round table was circumference. He had acquired his size from eating too much pie. Oh, dear. It's an incredible defensive system where... if you donate money and do some great things, and he has done great things, we can't deny that. If you can use that really as a sort of deterrent for any criticism, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. The philanthropy it always feels like it's there as a barrier to stop any criticism. And now that has stopped working because people have seen past that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah, he's basically giving lots of money and lots of things over to charity and doing these sort of... just doing these sort of public acts, as I don't know what you would call it. There's a certain term that Asmongold had for it. But yeah, it's just to try and shield you from any sort of criticism, or try to drown out the criticism, or to deflect the criticism. It's just whitewashing of personalities and reputation. People, it's a form of people laundering. We've seen this with, people going from getting embroiled in scandal in government, and then going over to work in NGOs and charities and political action committees and the like, as a way of laundering their own reputation. To say, oh no, this person's not so bad. Look at all the good work they did at this charity. Look at how long they were there, and all these things, which is probably just lying on their resume. It was probably just some sort of no-show job. that they didn't have to really do anything. It was just a paycheck that they collected. They probably didn't do anything. It's just a way of laying low, biding their time till they can start slithering back into the halls of power. I can do more with the flip command. Oi, don't flip me.
Say, because like philanthropy is always a tough one, because obviously at the end of the day it's still good, even if
of course
he's using it as a shield. You're like, all right, well, he's still doing it, you know. But it feels like it is being used as a tool in some senses, but it's so hard to distinguish when it is and it isn't, right? Because like even if it is, it's like, well, it's still a good thing. It's hard to use that as a point like against him. But
I don't know, like Jacksepticeye when he did the comment years ago. It was about a year ago now, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
A completely unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast?
No.
Do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube?
Yes.
Why?
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
You know, and he was like, I hate how
Damn.
YouTube's about this, that. And then
Bro,
Mr.
he's spitting
Beast
facts.
won, and they
Before it was cool.
apologise. But deep down, you know, Jack, that's what he really thinks. And recently, with recent events.
He's so mature and so chill. He was just like, I just don't want to deal with this. This is not what I wanted it to be.
And you can
but
tell.
I think, you know, it's aged well. The clip's aged well.
It's aged very well. You know. But anyway, yeah, and there's other things I could talk about this. Things I've seen, heard, read behind the scenes. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I've been waiting to say things a long time about that.
A good rule of thumb is that if you see a creator who seems like they have a lot of friends, they hang out with a lot of people, they're normally a bit more well-adjusted, I think. There's a certain group of people or creators that you interact with and you're like, makes a lot of sense now why people didn't really hang out with them much.
What annoyed me, so remember the kid's blindness thing?
Oh, yeah.
Cured blindness, right? He cured blindness.
I know why I'm laughing at that. It's just the thumbnail. The thumbnail is so demonic.
Here's the dilemma.
Yeah,
like, it's one of those things. On the one hand,
looks
brilliant.
scary. Both cringe and scary at the same time.
Deal with blindness, which is really great. But I kind of you can picture the meeting, having met his manager and talked to people behind it. You can picture that meeting, how it went in a room in North Carolina. We need to make more money. The team's got bigger. We need to increase our revenue by like 10%. Who's got some fucking awesome ideas out here? And they went, what if we do bomb a truck and throw a train off a cliff? We'll do it. Any others? Cure blindness. We could like cure 100 kids blindness.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's the one. That's going to get the headlines. And that is how it's not like he read an article and went, man, this issue is really bad. If we could make a documentary covering this topic about blindness that could be cured, that's the way to tackle it. You can make a really well-made documentary. He could cure blindness in 100 kids and still have the click-through rate that he demands and actually cover the subject in a serious matter. And yet, it was not that. It was, cure the blindness done, got my money, here's the sponsor, well, hey, done. Money. Noble acts, no doubt about it. You can tell he doesn't really care. It's just, you turn up, make a quick video, back on a private jet to North Carolina.
Well, I think the reason why I don't like a lot of those is that it does feel like creatively like void as well. Like there's nothing, like there's no story being pursued.
There's no story.
No,
it's just money,
story.
Problem fixed, goodbye.
And you just see things happen, events that are impressive. Like, I bought $1 million yacht and I sat around.
Yeah, to which they would probably respond, it's like, well, our audience doesn't have the attention span for all of that. Okay, skill issue on the part of your fucking audience. But again, you're fucking Mr. Beast, so they'll probably sit down and watch you for 2 hours straight. I mean, they're probably binge watching a bunch of your videos for 2 hours straight as is. So, what's the bloody difference, man? Come on.
Around it, I rented $1 million yacht or whatever. But you just feel nothing because there's no emotion, no story, no plot behind it. It's just things happening, and this is what I just hate it. I hate what YouTube's become. Well, but I realise the audience, the kids, mostly under 14, naive, don't understand what's going on. But I think they'll be eating lunch late and they'll be drinking prime, and the next generation is, for lack of a better word, fucked.
Yeah, I mean, there's some videos where I feel like he's done a decent job of like telling the story, but there's other times where I'm like, man, I feel like the need to have the video be about what you're doing and yourself is sometimes the thing that holds back the video, and it makes it kind of boring. I feel like there's so many interesting stories that other people have that you could share.
Yeah, bro, but it's all about the brand, bro. It's all about the brand, bro. He's got to be out front and promote the brand, bro. Fuck you and your brand.
Go off if you gave them the time, but
I used to sort of respect him for the sense of the hard work and the grinding aspect of it, and I respect any creator who's done well on YouTube because often there's a lot of time, effort, thought and has gone into that. But somewhere along the timeline, last year or two, the scales have tipped, and it's all become a bit ugly.
It's also just boring, which I feel like is the saddest part of this.
Yeah, I watched him.
It's so boring.
Drive a train off a cliff into
That's
a pit,
the worst one.
and he
That's
bombed
terrible.
it, and he blew up a tank, and you're just sitting there like, oh, I don't care, man. Because at the core of a video is a story and people and a plot and narrative and him.
Yeah.
It's just there's the humour and the.
It's like you're just doing that to do it. I mean, not even the lads on Top Gear were like that, and you know. It seems like they would come up with any excuse whatsoever to blow something up, which, you know, granted, we rather like that, but there was still a story to what was going on. There was still, I don't know, personality, something which seems to be sorely lacking in a lot of what I've seen from Mr. Beast.
It's just boring. But that's the future of the internet, so get ready, fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get a lot shitter. You know, I wouldn't have exploded about this, but the day I saw Beast team up with Logan Paul, who, of course, you know, I was in Japan.
What do you mean you don't want electrolytes in your kids' foods?
I was, you know.
Are you getting enough electrolytes? I'm concerned. Are you getting enough?
You weren't here the time he did the everything wrong in Japan thing, right?
I laughed. I was like, of course he did the go-karts. The go-karts that nobody likes.
Jesus.
The go-karts in Tokyo.
My God.
Because you see
I have had to talk some people that I know down from the ledge of doing go-karts in Japan. I told them I'm putting my foot down. If all of us are going to Japan together, absolutely no go-karts in Tokyo. And just top tip for you, please don't do the go-karts in Tokyo if you go there. If you go to Japan, do not drive the go-karts in Tokyo. Only the biggest fucking twats do that. I even tell these people, if you even think about it, I will mock you mercilessly as being on the level of the middle-aged bikers from South Park, the old men who went around and just went. I will literally get up in your face and make the same noise. Because the locals absolutely despise these things and practically wish death upon anyone who rides them. They are considered a total public nuisance now. And as Chris Broad has even talked about on his videos and on his podcast, there have been a number of accidents involving the go-karts, including the one time when one of them crashed into his favourite fish and chip shop. So that's, just don't ride the go-karts. Just don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
They go, rum, 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 rum. Everyone's having a lovely day in Shibuya. The sun's shining, the birds are singing. Hop, skip, and a jump, and then like, and like 8 dozen fucking go-karts come past. And of course, Mr. Beast wasn't the first person to do the go-karts, but he popularized it, and now they're unstoppable. And everyone in Tokyo hates it.
It's so annoying because it's like there's so much cooler shit you could have done.
Yeah.
You picked the one thing that was lame.
It's not just annoying though; it's literally very dangerous. Like it's not going to end well. And it doesn't end well. Crashing into taxi drivers.
No, it doesn't.
Crashing into my favourite fish and chip shop in Roppongi.
Oh yeah, they did do that. They did crash into the fish and chip shop.
Cunts.
Forgot about that.
Fuck. But yeah, hopefully there's no.
Mr. Beast did not crash into the fish and
no,
chips shop, but
I
some
mean,
other
this
idiot.
is at a point where everyone is talking about it, so it's not like Connor and I are ranting about it.
I'm okay with burning my Lunchly sponsor opportunity.
Well, you won't be in a Mr. Beast video now, will you?
No, I won't.
That's your biggest dream. You know, my favourite thing about Mr. Beast is how in every interview he's like, we literally put all our money back into investing in content.
You
He makes
fucking
that like
didn't.
he's a genius businnesman.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. Everybody who invests their revenue back into producing things. That's not like he's not a normal businessman. Like, I've got an idea. Let's put our revenue and profit
Name
into.
one business that doesn't.
Everyone does it. Everyone.
Actually, Nintendo doesn't.
Nintendo doesn't.
Yeah, Nintendo does.
Too
Nintendo's
busy-
the most cash-rich company
Too
in
busy
Japan.
taking down YouTubers for using their music.
Well, you know, I'm just glad we have like a comic book villain to all rally behind that we all really dislike on YouTube. Good to have
And
someone.
he's partnered with the biggest YouTuber on the platform.
It is an odd choice that he seemed to go with it.
But I think his PR team would have been like, "Hey,
don't do this.
Jimmy, bro,
don't
maybe
do
we
this.
shouldn't given all the terrible things that have been happening these last 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't partner with the guy who mocks the dead. No, I'll just make a lunchbox with him. I'll make a lunchbox with his piece of shit drink that's so bad senators in the US have sort of wondered about banning it. Fucking
it's not
caffeinated
ideal, is it?
prime
It's
shit.
not ideal.
Oh, anyway, I'm off to watch the Talk to podcast.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that's what's going on. Anyway, there's the video that kind of set off everything, and then we get elaboration from Chris Broad earlier today. Chris here, just to elaborate, not been a fan of Mr. Beast content for many years now. Don't think he's inherently bad, but like many folks, his content isn't aimed at me, and thankfully his videos never appear on my homepage. Same. However, seeing him partner with Logan Paul, a man who's done nothing but awful act after awful act for almost a decade, now just made me snap. It may have been 6 years, but I still have the dystopian fucked up image in my head of Logan Paul vlogging himself in the Aokigahara forest, mocking someone who was quite literally hanging from a tree before him. And rather than do what any decent person would do and show compassion and immediately switch off the camera, he recklessly and selfishly exploited it for views. He carried on filming. He joked about it, and then he actively uploaded it to his channel. Then I had to go on Japanese national television and explain why a foreign YouTuber would want to exploit a man who had tragically taken his own life for views. Understandably, everyone in Japan was confused why anyone would do such a thing. And while I believe in forgiveness, Logan Paul hasn't exactly reformed his character. He is not a changed man. Barely a week goes by without a new headline of some outrageous, awful shit he's actively partaken in. So to see the world's largest YouTuber gleefully partner with a man like that and endorse them to an audience of tens of millions of kids is something that just sickens me, all in the name of some disgustingly tacky food product, again aimed at children. I'm not sure what counter-argument he has up his sleeve this time, but you can be damn sure references to philanthropy will be made in abundance. My rant wasn't about making money is bad, it was about the act of making money by partnering with a man with an abhorrent track record to sell crap food aimed at children, and it seems like a pretty spectacular error of judgment. And let's see, some responses are from Lucy Pryor. Logan Paul has never done anything that made me think he had a conscience or saw the people watching his content as anything more than a living wallet. Mr. Beast partnering with him feels telling on his take regarding his audience too. That is, yeah. Mr. Beast is just a douchebag who happened to win the algorithm and become famous. He's no different to Rice Gum, Logan, and other douche tubers, maximizing their profits off the backs of their gullible audience. They don't care for their public image, they're too big to fail. Logan Paul is a professional scammer, scammed his fans with some shitcoin, and then sued CoffeeZilla when CoffeeZilla called him out on it. He responded by trying to hit CoffeeZilla with a slap suit, and then it failed. And then he's just like, we're gonna be transparent about this. You know, thanks for calling me out. And we're gonna make improvements. We see you, we hear you, we're listening, and you know we're gonna do better. And then absolutely fucking nothing happened. Dude is a professional clown. Mr. Beast keeps supporting him and giving him a platform. Let's see. Anybody else around here? Nobody really recognize. These suckers have no quality in their work. They don't give a shit. Dimitri's heart and soul is put in every single piece he forges. Yeah, I mean, even... yeah, it seems like too many of the wrong people are winning the algorithm battle there. And it's sickening. It's really sickening to watch. But yeah, turning now to some other news out there. Something from the Mainichi, Japan Daily News. Hotels in Sapporo and across Japan are battling to impress guests with extravagant breakfasts. Sorry for the flashbang, everybody. Let's force this page dark. That's better. Seafood rice bowls with mountains of salmon roe. Hokkaido-grown Wagyu beefsteaks sizzling right before your eyes. These are a few of the breakfast options at a hotel in this northern Japan city's Susukino Entertainment District, amid growing competition to satisfy guests through the most important meal of the day. Business traveler-oriented hotels across Japan are reportedly racing to offer extravagant breakfasts even as rising prices mean it's not profitable to do so. The trend is not limited to hotels in places like resorts or hot spring districts, but also in urban areas. The renowned tourist destination of Sapporo is seen as the front line of the breakfast war, a place where hotels are locked in a heated battle. Vessel Inn Sapporo Nakajima Park in the city's Chuo ward is one such hotel, a member of the Vessel Inn chain famed for its breakfasts. The entire chain is operated by Vessel Hotel Development Company, a national hotelier based in Fukuyama in Hiroshima Prefecture. Yusuke Kimura, the company executive in charge of facilities from Osaka eastward, said of the breakfast competition, "Plain chicken? Even if it is, we can't afford to get out of it." The company updated its breakfast buffet offerings at the Sapporo Hotel this September. Guests can now see a live kitchen view of the chefs cooking up steaks of Japanese black beef raised locally in the nearby town of Tsukigata. Also, daily rotating varieties of ramen in the big three Hokkaido styles of Sapporo, Asahikawa, and Hakodate were introduced. Originally, the hotel's offerings, including seafood sashimi, were highly esteemed, but the management wanted to bring in more Hokkaido-like items. At a ceremony held before guests could enjoy the revamped menu, the company's president, Yoshio Seo, said, "Prices of ingredients have gone up, and to be honest, there is no profit," with a wry smile, and continued, "But we are aiming for the best breakfast in Japan to make our customers happy." You know, I think that's probably the best attitude there. As I said in my own quote tweet, if you take care of your customers and your employees, the bottom line will take care of itself. There's data indicating that breakfasts are an important element of the hotel business. They really are. The idea of some hotels cutting back in a way to sort of cut corners and save money and, you know, boost the quarterly profit statements and look good to the shareholders, I think that's having an impact on a lot of hotels. That it's like, oh, you're going to start charging me extra for this, or, you know, you're going to have some sort of separate hotel fare for the you know, just over a breakfast. Really, I mean, used to be it was a lot simpler than that. It was like, you get breakfast, and the hotel bought enough ingredients for everyone, and somehow they managed to make it fucking work. The Japanese edition of the J.D. Power 2023 Hotel Guest Satisfaction Index study looked at hotel chains satisfying criteria such as having at least 10 locations across the country, with responses from a total of 17,581 guests. According to the study by the Japanese subsidiary of the American market research firm J.D. Power, guests highly rated the taste, quality, and variety of hotel meals compared to 2019, before the coronavirus pandemic. Their level of satisfaction with breakfast also significantly improved. Satisfaction with breakfast went up even further if items using local ingredients or specialties were offered, and the level of overall guest satisfaction was higher among those who had breakfasts. Senior manager Shizue Hidaka pointed out a growing number of hotels are working to make breakfast more appealing by incorporating unique local ingredients and cuisine. I mean, yeah, go local. I mean, that's what people are there for. They're there to, you know, sample some of the local cuisine. If you can make a familiar breakfast for them using local ingredients, you know, that's a good experience for them. And, you know, what a surprise. They have breakfast, and their overall satisfaction with their stay is higher. The way to people's heart is through their stomach. What a concept. You know, but try telling that to some fucking bean counter in the finance or accounting department, and they'll look at you like you're from another planet. Dimitri's been in some of these hotels. Sapporo's nice. Never mistreat Dimitri, even if Dimitri is Russian and foreigner. yeah, no, that would be a loss of face for them, and they're just not going to have that. But yeah, I really wanted to go to Sapporo for some time now. Yeah, and even if it's just staying at something like a Toyoko Inn, which is definitely a fine hotel chain, but the prices are very, very reasonable. But yeah, even if it's something simple like that, it would, I'd love that. I'd love to be able to go to Hakodate and to Sapporo. I want to see Hokkaido. I've been to Tokyo. I've been to some areas around Tokyo, to Mount Fuji. I really have been just fascinated with the north of Japan. And yeah, I mean, granted, it stays pretty cold up there, lots of snow, but I don't know. Place seems nice. I would especially love to go during the summertime. That would be absolutely fantastic if I could go during the summertime and experience Sapporo and Hakodate and the like. As has become commonplace in recent years for guests to share photos of their meals on social media, they can also offer glimpses into the amount of attention paid to hotel breakfasts. Searches on Instagram revealed that while there were over 1,000 posts carrying the Japanese hashtag for hotel dinner, as of September 26th, there were 92,000 results for the hotel breakfast tag. Hokkaido tourism and ambassador and frequent hotel guest Sayaka Miyoshi commented, "I think some may even drop a hotel from consideration if breakfasts look inadequate. Breakfast makes tourists happy, and I also consider accommodations, including breakfast." I mean, I think all of us do. It's, most important meal of the day. It's your first meal of the day. It's important. The trend is growing for breakfast to be seen as part of sightseeing and trips, and unless hotels respond to demand for things such as local delicacies, it's hard for them to secure reservations. From the hotel's standpoint, there are other factors at play. According to the vessel inn operator, demand from overseas guests temporarily disappeared due to the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, closing off your borders will do that to you. And domestic demand gradually recovered first. It reportedly became important for hotels to aim to keep more loyal Japanese guests by increasing their level of satisfaction as a way to adapt to future market contingencies. Guests are always looking for new and surprising things, but there are limits to room renovations due to the cost and time needed. In contrast, breakfast can be revised with relatively little expense, and differences in menu ideas can help distinguish brands from each other. While the enhancement of the breakfast menu satisfies the needs of guests, it's also a rational approach in terms of hotel management. The strengths of Cross Hotel Sapporo near JR Sapporo Station, for example, are experience-based meals such as soup curry that guests bring to perfection by adding ingredients themselves and desserts made by a pastry chef. Mariko Kashiwazaki, a sales and marketing representative for the hotel, said, "Breakfast is the scene where a guest spends time at a hotel and is easily memorable and strongly related to the perceived quality of the hotel. It's also an important element that can easily become a topic of word of mouth." It looks like the battle will go on. Indeed. So yeah, the next time you're traveling, chat, let me know how the breakfast is, wherever you end up. Oh, and for those of you in the United States, today is Columbus Day. Some people like to refer to this as Indigenous Peoples Day. It was Columbus Day first. It's still recognized as Columbus Day. And, yeah, we're going to continue to recognize it as Columbus Day, especially around here. But, there's been a lot of lies and half-truths and misinformation bandied about over the years. Mostly by people who can only be summed up as anti-white racists and people who apparently have it in for the Italians. But yeah, interesting clip from an upcoming video from Evan Amato at Rewire the West on Columbus's journey to try and find a passageway to India. And along the way, he got stranded on Jamaica for nearly a year. If breakfast sucks, Dimitri, go to some breakfast place. Exactly. And you probably won't stay at that hotel ever again, because if they can't get the breakfast right, what else are they getting wrong? Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Columbus was, there was no racism in the modern sense of the word. Columbus was stranded on Jamaica for nearly a year. He thought he'd literally turn brown. Why? Because modern understandings of race and genetics did not exist back then. It is impossible to judge a past society by modern standards, and Christopher Columbus is a great litmus test on this. Mere mention of his name evokes outrage, and most people are completely unaware of his real achievements. Criticism of Columbus goes beyond the man himself. In many ways, is just a scapegoat for a radically misunderstood period of history. That's not to say he was perfect, of course, but he definitely wasn't the criminal that he's portrayed as. Evan Amato sat down with the esteemed historian and author of Conquistadores, Dr. Fernando Cervantes, to discuss this in depth. They spoke for nearly 2 hours about Columbus, the conquistadors, and the exploration of the New World. And it is remarkable how much your understanding of a period changes when you view it through the eyes of its protagonists. Whether they did right or wrong, their actions should be tried by their, not our, contemporaries. What follows is an excerpt from that conversation with Dr. Cervantes. Let's back this up, maximize the video, pause the music, and let's give this a go. Evan Amato talking with Dr. Cervantes.
A lot of people, because Columbus has this mistaken idea that the world is smaller than it is, and that's part of what leads him to undertake this expedition in the first place. A lot of people write him off, but what you highlight really well in the book is that he was a brilliant man in many regards, and the fact of he decoded the wind systems of the Atlantic, the same ones that we use for sailing today. He navigated the Caribbean, which is no small feat. Mm-hmm. He realized at one point, this is hilarious to me. He realizes, he looks at basically his position, in the sea and with regards to the stars. He say, we're sailing up. To him, it looks like he's sailing uphill essentially. Yeah. But what he's just discovered is that the world is not a perfect sphere, which wasn't at that point common knowledge. Yeah. I don't know if it was known at all, but he essentially figures out the world is not perfectly spherical based on his calculations. He realizes that there's a magnetic shift in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, all these things that for many people would be a lifetime achievement. If I'm the one who found out the world isn't perfectly spherical, I think my name would go down in history for that alone. And look, we don't even know that about Columbus. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, he made a few very, very interesting discoveries, including...
I mean, they're trying to diminish these discoveries, because if you can diminish these discoveries and downplay them, then you can eventually diminish and downplay the person, and then you can do the same to their people and to their civilization. It's all a process of devaluing and unpersoning, of dehumanizing, to basically make them, to make it acceptable to where anything goes against them, to where if there were a statue of Christopher Columbus, the people leading the charge wanted to be where it would seem like a moral imperative to tear it down, and to tear down anything and everything it represents, because really it's just a form of racism and prejudice and hatred that and not against any particular minority, but against the majority, and yet flies in the face for a lot of people of what we're raised to believe, which racism, prejudice in any form is wrong. But somehow, some way, the intelligentsia in the Western world have made it to where racism against certain groups and against certain skin tones is somehow fashionable and acceptable. I've actually been to Christopher Columbus's grave in the Dominican. Interesting. Welcome in, Don Musa. Thank you for the first time chat. I wonder what that was like. That sounds like a fascinating experience. I'm sure he certainly gets more respect in the Dominican Republic than he does in the United States or in any other part of the English-speaking world.
At one stage, knowing that this was a landmass that extended from Central America all the way to Brazil.
Yes.
But then he didn't talk about it afterwards, because he was still wanting desperately to prove that he had reached India. he died convinced that he had reached India.
Yeah.
So,
With regards to
unfortunately, he
the
never
continuous landmass between Belize and Brazil, you get this other incredible story of him coming across I believe it's the Orinoco estuary and Venezuela, and he thinks he's found Eden. He thinks he's found the paradise, because it's just this. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to come across these roaring of waters and insane, absolutely incredible currents, just something that we can't even comprehend. And I mean, everyone thought that they were going to crash. He thought it was a miracle that he survived. And then I believe it's on that same expedition.
It was a miracle that he survived.
So he's basically sailed up from Brazil, crossed Venezuela, up the coast of Mexico and Central America, and then he gets shipwrecked in Jamaica, or marooned on Jamaica essentially. And what happens then? He sends one of his companions, with a group of Tainos, the locals, and they row in a canoe to Cuba. This is part of why I enjoy the book so much. Is
5
because,
days of paddling.
Exactly. 5
5
days of paddling
days,
across the Caribbean,
my God.
across against the current, basically.
Yeah.
And they finally get to
against
Cuba.
the
I mean, that
current.
feat itself is remarkable. Imagine, again, just to put this in perspective, I always think, if I did that, if I went, I could make a whole documentary about me rowing in a canoe from Jamaica to Cuba, and make money from it. And it's just something we don't even know about the man, about that expedition. So they go to Cuba, and then the governor of Cuba, who despises Columbus, basically doesn't send help. And so he and his crew are stuck on
basically
Jamaica
says, "Fuck
for
you."
a year before a ship comes, and they just make do. It's a incredible
They have to
story
make do for an
of
entire
resilience.
year.
Yeah, and there's a very, very amusing letter that Columbus wrote from Jamaica saying, look, if we don't start eating proper food, our beards are going to fall off and we're going to go brown because we're eating rodents and cassava bread all the time.
Exactly.
So it shows you how, our concept of race just didn't exist at all. Yeah. It's like a genetic thing, that inherited thing. It was much more adaptation to the environment. Exactly. Columbus really thought that he would, if any longer in Jamaica, and he would end up, in a few years, he would end up looking exactly like the inhabitants of Jamaica if he carried on eating the same foods. So he really wanted, please send wheat and pigs and...
Yes, the food that he was familiar with. I'd like to see them rip that down, considering he's buried under a lighthouse that doubles as a Catholic bat signal. Yeah, Vatican City would never allow that. At least I don't think so. Of course, then again, given the absolute state of the current Pope, and I mean, who knows what would happen. Well, he's a huge tourist bit in the Dominican, so trying to cancel him there would be tantamount to sabotaging the Dominican economy. Yes, and that would be racist. But then again, the do-gooders and the awfuls and the woke activists, that's never really stopped them, has it? From imposing their own values and their own standards on everyone else. It's yet another form of imperialism, which those same people, probably not even a few years ago, were ranting and raving about with protest against like the Iraq War or something like that. But yeah, at night, Columbus's grave and lighthouse shines as a giant cross in the sky. That sounds absolutely beautiful. I would love to see that. Honestly, that alone would be worth it to make a trip to the Dominican Republic.
Yes. Olive oil and obviously wine. Very, very important.
Yeah. Well, that's another
especially
great
the
example,
wine.
just highlighting some of the differences of how we interpret the past, because we might think, oh, the Spanish arrive in the Americas, and of course they're going to think they're themselves superior because they're white. And you just highlighted that wasn't the case, because they realized that they thought race was linked to where you live.
The Spaniards had centuries of cultural interaction with non-whites. I mean, the whole of southern Spain was under Islamic domination for centuries, and had the largest Jewish population in the world, and they were obviously Semitic peoples. They were not white Europeans. So Spain had that openness. That's why there's so much miscegenation in the New World, in the 16th and 17th.
Yes, I mean that particular part of the world is where the Sephardim originate. which was probably a mingling between the various North African and Middle Eastern peoples who had pushed into who had pushed in past the borders of Spain and occupied that land as part of one of the old caliphates before they got pushed back and as part of the Reconquista and part of the Crusades. His tomb is also shaped like a giant cross as well. Yes, no, people often forget that about Columbus, is that he was a very deeply religious man. And much of what he was doing, he didn't want to find a passage to India just to say, hey, look at me, I found a passage to India, I'm so great, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, we need more trade routes opened up because we need to finance the Reconquista of the Holy Lands. We need to finance a new not an Inquisition. I keep wanting to call it an Inquisition, but a new crusade. That was what he was wanting to do, was to find new trade routes so as to raise enough money to finance a new crusade. Because he was, I believe, under the mistaken notion, now we know that, it's like we only have a few years left before the end times come, and so we good Christian men of good conscience and good character have to retake the Holy Land. We must retake Jerusalem in order for, to bring about the second coming of Christ. Naturally it didn't quite work out that way, but that was the primary motivation of Columbus wanting to find new trade routes to India.
19th centuries. There's no racism in the modern sense of the term. Of course, there's hierarchical divisions, but they existed in Spain as well. So that's what's preserved. And but some indigenous nobles were recognized as nobles and given titles of nobility.
Absolutely.
And the Spaniards used the structures of Mesoamerica and the Andes. I mean, the people who
would a racist people recognize titles of nobility for other people in other lands, especially when those people did not look like Spaniards? Is that what a racist people does? If so, you've got a rather warped view of racism, because it would seem to me that anyone who was a true and proper racist would not recognize any of that, and would just say, you're all being subjugated, you're all being enslaved, because, we view you as second-class citizens and less than human. But no, you didn't see that, did you? You didn't see that. That didn't happen. Because, surprise, surprise, the Spanish and many other European peoples happen to not be as bad as they're made out to be. They're not the villains that they've been made out to be by so many of the deconstructionists and the critical theorists who have infested modern studies of history.
who ruled the roost in the provinces were the caciques and the curacas. They were not part of the viceregal system. So it's a hierarchical society, but it's not racist in the modern sense of the word. There was no apartheid in the modern sense of the word.
Yeah, also not an apartheid state. I swear, these fucking people just lie after lie after lie after lie with them. And then it could be years before good men like Dr. Fernando Cervantes and Evan Amato come out and have these actual thoughtful, intelligent, and dare I say fascinating conversations about the reality of what Christopher Columbus was like, about what the Reconquista was like, about what the Crusades were really all about. And we have to hope and pray that enough people listen to them and understand the real truth. What's kind of funny and a little off topic, but the Joseon kingdom of feudal Korea, through trading, thought of Catholicism as a scholarly pursuit and studying it thoroughly, and some actually began thinking of it as a religion and began practicing long before the first missionaries started showing up in Korea. And it's actually quite fascinating, Don Musa. That is something that I would love to do a deep dive into and find out more about and talk with historians and scholars about that, and even members of the clergy to learn more about that and find some more background and context over it, because that's fascinating. No missionaries had shown up in Korea, and yet they had discovered Catholicism through trade. They read about it. It starts out as something that, it's something that, boffins and bookworms are into. And then all of a sudden they sort of figure out it's like, hey, we got the makings of a pretty decent religion here. And then began practicing it. I have to wonder what the first missionaries thought when they encountered that, when they first arrived in Korea. If you search Joseon Catholic on Twitter, there's a fun little comic about it. Really? Challenge accepted. Let's do that while we're here. Oh, here we are. In the early days, Catholicism in Joseon was more akin to a scholarly pursuit than a religion. After Matteo Ricci's The True Meaning of the Lord of Heaven entered Joseon, a considerable number of scholars studied it. New book! Among these scholars, some began to believe in Catholicism as a religion, leading to the presence of Catholic believers in Joseon even before missionaries arrived. Who are you? How can there be believers here? That's interesting. Oh, that's cute. Good work, Modico38. That is quite interesting. I like that. We're going to give that a like. I'd even bookmark that. There we have it. But getting back to Columbus, there's actually a rather fascinating thing I read one time in a book by Robert Greene called The 48 Laws of Power. And he actually wrote about the way Columbus went about financing the expedition to try and find a passage to India. The artist does a bunch of little comics about the Joseon period of feudal Korea and its interactions with other countries of the time. Interesting. I want to look more into that. That sounds absolutely fascinating. And I've wanted to learn a bit more about Korean history and culture. I do want to read a quick excerpt from 48 Laws of Power, and it's from Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, appearing vulgar or common will make people disrespect you, but a king respects himself and inspires the same sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident in your powers, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. And he wrote about the time before the legendary voyages. When Christopher Columbus was trying to find funding for his legendary voyages, many around him believed he came from the Italian aristocracy. This view was passed on into history through a biography written after the explorer's death by his son, which describes him as a descendant of a Count Colombo of the castle of Cucciaro in Montferrat. Colombo, in turn, was said to be descended from the legendary Roman general Colonius, and 2 of his first cousins were supposedly direct descendants of an emperor of Constantinople. An illustrious background indeed, but it was nothing more than an illustrious fantasy, for Columbus was actually the son of Domenico Colombo, a humble weaver who had opened a wine shop when Christopher was a young man, and who then made his living by selling cheese. Columbus himself had created the myth of his noble background, because from early on he felt that destiny had singled him out for great things, and that he had a kind of royalty in his blood. Accordingly, he acted as if he were indeed descended from noble stock. After an uneventful career as a merchant on a commercial vessel, Columbus, originally from Genoa, settled in Lisbon. Using the fabricated story of his noble background, he married into an established Lisbon family that had excellent connections with Portuguese royalty. Hello, Lord Rexworth. Hello, Action Bastard. Hello, hello. Oh, I also got to walk around his son's house, which is kind of built on top of a portside fortress. Interesting. Through his in-laws, Columbus finagled a meeting with the King of Portugal, whom he petitioned to finance a westward voyage at discovering a shorter route to Asia. In return for denouncing that any discoveries he achieved would be made in the king's name, Columbus wanted a series of rights, the title of Grand Admiral of the Oceanic Sea, the office of Viceroy over any lands he found, and 10% of the future commerce with such lands. All of these rights were to be hereditary and for all time. Columbus made these demands even though he had previously been a mere merchant. He knew almost nothing about navigation, he could not work a quadrant, and he had never led a group of men. In short, he had absolutely zero qualifications for the journey that he proposed. Furthermore, his petition included no details as to how he would accomplish his plans, just vague promises. When Columbus finally finished his pitch, the king smiled. He politely declined the offer, but left the door open for the future. Here, Columbus must have noticed something he would never forget. Even as the king turned down the sailors' demands, he treated them as legitimate. He neither laughed at Columbus nor questioned his background and credentials. In fact, the king was impressed by the boldness of Columbus's requests, and clearly felt comfortable in the company of a man who acted so confidently. The meeting must have convinced Columbus that his instincts were correct. By asking for the moon, he had instantly raised his own status, for the king assumed that unless a man who set such a high price on himself were mad, which Columbus did not appear to be, he must somehow be worth it. I can actually trace my bloodline back to the first king of Scotland, Kenneth MacAlpin I. Interesting. I too can trace my bloodline back to a rather famous Scottish clan, but I won't reveal which one because I don't want to dox myself. Columbus wooed the queen to get the money as best I can recall from history class. We will get to that. A few years later, Columbus moved to Spain. Using his Portuguese connections, he moved in elevated circles at the Spanish court, receiving subsidies from illustrious financiers and sharing tables with dukes and princes. To all these men, he repeated his request for financing for the voyage to the west, and also for the rights he had demanded from the King of Portugal. Some, such as the powerful Duke of Medina, wanted to help but could not, since they lacked the power to grant him the titles and rights that he wanted. But Columbus would not back down. He soon realized that only one person could meet his demands, Queen Isabella. In 1487, he finally managed a meeting with the Queen, and although he could not convince her to finance the voyage, he completely charmed her and became a frequent guest in the palace. In 1492, the Spanish finally expelled the Moorish invaders who centuries earlier had seized parts of the country. With the wartime burden on her treasury lifted, Isabella felt she could finally respond to the demands of her explorer friend, and she decided to pay for 3 ships, equipment, the salaries of the crews, and a modest stipend for Columbus himself. More important, she had a contract drawn up that granted Columbus the titles and rights on which he had insisted. The only one she denied, and only in the contract's fine print, was the 10% of all revenues from any lands discovered. An absurd demand, since he wanted no time limit on it. Had that clause been left in, it would eventually have made Columbus and his heirs the wealthiest family on the planet. Columbus never read the fine print. Satisfied that his demands had been met, Columbus set sail that same year in search of the passage to Asia. Before he left, he was careful to hire the best navigator he could find to help him get there. The mission failed to find such a passage, yet when Columbus petitioned the Queen to finance an even more ambitious voyage the following year, she agreed. By then, she had come to see Columbus as destined for great things. As an explorer, Columbus was mediocre at best. He knew less about the sea than did the average sailor on his ships. He could never determine the latitude and longitude of his discoveries. He would often mistake islands for vast continents, and treated his crew rather badly. But in one area he was a genius. He knew how to sell himself. How else to explain how the son of a cheese vendor, a low-level sea merchant, managed to ingratiate himself with the highest royal and aristocratic families? I swear if we were related, Rex. You never know. There's a small world after all, I suppose. A nat 20 charisma roll. Yes, indeed. Nat 24, that's how he did that. That would seem to be how Columbus did it, yeah. Columbus had an amazing power to charm the nobility, and it all came from the way he carried himself. He projected a sense of confidence that was completely out of proportion to his means. Nor was his confidence the aggressive, ugly self-promotion of an upstart. Rather, it was a quiet and calm self-assurance. In fact, it was the same confidence usually shown by the nobility themselves. The powerful and old-style aristocracies felt no need to prove or assert themselves. Being noble, they knew they always deserved more, and they asked for it. With Columbus, then, they felt an instant affinity, for he carried himself just the way they did, elevated above the crowd, destined for greatness. Understand, it is within your power to set your own price. How you carry yourself reflects what you think of yourself. If you ask for little, shuffle your feet and lower your head, people will assume this reflects your character. But this behavior is not you. It is only how you have chosen to present yourself to other people. You can just as easily present the Columbus front, buoyancy, confidence, and the feeling that you were born to wear a crown. So yeah, fun little story about Christopher Columbus from the 48 Laws of Power. A great read, highly recommended. Christopher Columbus got through the same way I got through college. If you can't blind them with your brilliance, baffle them with your bullshit. Precisely. Lol, I can trace my bloodline back to Jane Seymour. What, the actress? That's pretty cool. Yeah, anyways, I think we've yapped long enough. Why don't we get started with Dave the Diver? Let's see, game capture. There we go, Dave the Diver. Reminds me of a meme for college. 12-page paper due today. Due today. Isn't she one of Henry VIII's wives? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did have a wife named Jane Seymour. The third wife of Henry VIII, yeah. We need to build up some trust with the sea people. Right, off we go. Very There's a very oriental theme to the sea people. Hey! Don't pop out of nowhere like that. See my gills pumping? No. Oh my, I've never seen a human before. You have legs just like a crab. What do I do? Kids, what's going on? We were playing ball outside the village when a megamouth shark suddenly appeared. It swallowed our ball. Oh, poor girl. Megamouth? You mean the huge... Yes. Can you go get it back for us, human? Well, it looks really scary. Oh, alright. I'll get it back for you. Yeah, the second wife of Henry VIII got executed, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, human. And refused children. Where did Megamouth run off to? I'm gonna need to find him. Tenzin said you could stay here, right? But don't wander around too much. I've lived 200 years, and this is the first time I've seen a human. What are you doing here? First time for everything, yeah? If you look at a lot of Asian cultures, they're very influenced by the nearby seas. I suppose that's fair enough, yeah. Are you not feeling well? Human, none of your business. You look rather ill. Should I bring you something like some coral porridge? Coral porridge? How can a human make sea people food? Ramo asked me to bring this before. Lies. Humans cannot be trusted. Well, looks like it's needed, so ask Bancho to make it. Ingredients for feather coral and lily coral, yeah? Yeah, let's go out to the village. You're getting in the way of my farming. Sorry? What's wild is there's waterfalls underwater. There's only two explanations I can think of, and one breaks the laws of physics. Funny enough, that's an actual thing. I mean, we've broken laws of physics before, so if humans can do it, why not nature, yeah? Would you like a little live music? There's such a thing as underwater lakes. Yeah, made of very toxic brine. Interesting. Didn't know that.
Belong to the design tree.
Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, that's pretty good, mate. Huh. You're the human that's been wandering about our village, right? Yes, that's exactly who I am. What fancy decorations. What is this place? We see people work hard every single day. This is a place of pleasure for the hard-working villagers. Oh dear, we've wandered into an underwater brothel. So I can't come in, right? It's alright. Species is no barrier to enjoyment, is it? Like most sea creatures die from toxic shock after seconds of exposure to brine. Gosh. Oh, right, you're helping out in the village, is that right? Yeah, I guess that's how it is for now. I've been needing help with something. This establishment operates seahorse races, which are extremely popular. The recent earthquake destroyed the general quarters of all the seahorses have run off.
Oh dear.
You think the game is breaking physics now? Give it a little bit. They should still be in the village. Will you go catch them for me? Perhaps. Come to think of it, Mackie gave me a bug net. Probably could catch seahorses with it. I haven't won any money since humans came here. This can't be a coincidence. Not again, darn it. Why are you so angry? Junak, that pile of whale poop must have tricked me. My beluga whistle. I lost my precious whistle to him. Beluga whistle? Yes, whistle that summons beluga anywhere in the village. I knew I shouldn't have bet that whistle in the game. That heartless swindler tricked me. Human, can you bring it back for me? Me? Yes. I've nothing left to bet in the card game. I'm broke. I'm not very good at cards. Perhaps I could play a couple of games for fun. Beluga whistle? The one that foul-tongued lady gave to me? She lost 5 times straight and went all in. She bet the whistle in the last game. She looked like she needed it. Could you give it back to her? Not for free. Play cards with me and win. Then I'll give it back to the woman. He's annoying. Well, if you say so. If I win, you give the whistle back to her. Sure, sure. Let's play the game. You need to bet some money. Flip cards to pair up the matching ones. Whoever pairs up the most matching cards wins. I don't have enough bay. How can hermit crabs be so fast? I don't know. Oh, there's a few other laws it's kind of breaking right this second, but the more I think, the worse it gets. Oh, so that's how we get over there. Quack. Don't go poking about in the village too much. You might trip on seaweed with those silly legs of yours. Someone needs to punch him in the mouth. Daughter's such a brat. I heard that this was the door previously used to go to the glacial region, but the passage has been blocked for a while. Nobody knows what state it's been in during that time. Even though we pray, earthquakes keep coming. Is faith really enough to solve this problem? Don't say such things. Reason we're all still okay is all thanks to King Long. King Long Shrine. Ah, you must be the outsider. May King Long's protection be with you. Hello, what is this place? Oh, this is where we commemorate King Long. It's also where we store records of our history. Ah, I heard from Tinsin you're helping out in the village. Yes, well, that's how it is for now. In that case, there's something I'd like your help with. There's to be a wedding soon here in the village. A recent earthquake destroyed the stone slate we need for the wedding, however. I should be more careful about storing it. Sounds like a big deal. But how can I help you with something like that? In the days when we sea people roamed the seas freely, we left some records in human waters. Oh, must be talking about the Sea People record chamber. There should be a stone slate in one of those places for certain. Please, do help me out, human. It's a song for the wedding, right? Guess I'll go to the Sea People record chamber first. Alright, I'll try and bring back the slab. Would you do that for me? I'm truly grateful, human. May the blessing of King Long go with you. The ice of the divine tree is melting little by little. There are more and more getting sick. A giraffe seahorse. That's 3. Hey, who are you calling weird? Now, in a second thought, I'd take that as a compliment. What do you do with that mouth? You can't even breathe underwater. Yes, and apparently you use your mouth to talk too much. Huh. Are you that human? Human, not human. Ah, you look interesting. You don't even have fins. He reminds me of someone. What is this shop you're running? I sell various seeds here as well as flowers to offer to King Long. King Long? My goodness, don't tell me you don't know who King Long is. He is the great king who saved this village from disaster. Very difficult to hold a conversation with, you know that? Go and offer a flower to King Long first. The tribute flowers on the platform outside. Take one. There's a seahorse. Hey! There we go. Caught the runaway seahorses. Any questions for Dimitri? Can't think of anything at the moment. Oh, so this statue of King Long. That's the same person as in the painting from the record chamber. I guess I can put the flower on the platform in front of the statue. Sure, that will endear me to the public. Done what he asked. Should go back and talk to him. For a second I thought the statue was wearing a trucker hat. Been a while since I played this, lol. Wait, was it? No, it was this one over here. I did peek a little, and it seems you did okay. Even so, can't just trust a human who doesn't even know what King Long has done. Go and do a bit of reading or something. Nice. Look at this sign. Does it mean I can ride a beluga here? Mima's restaurant. Well, well, are you the human we've been hearing rumors about? You don't look as scary as I expected. My name is Mima. I run a restaurant in the village. I'm Dave. I'll be helping out at the village for a while. Oh, receiving help from a human. I never considered it a possibility before. Let's see. It's not like I can ask you to cook. Oh, my goodness, I forgot. A Wong and a Wong ordered lunchboxes. Oh, the gatekeepers are whispering earlier. Yes, would you perhaps take the lunchboxes I left in front of the door? They should still be on duty at the gate. Please, help me out, human. Well, all right. Oh, here they are. Human, what is it? I was asked to bring in these lunchboxes. These are from Mima. You didn't add poison on the way here or anything, did you? What? Why would I? Well, all right, give it here. Good work, I suppose. Phew. Just for that, I should have spat in their food. Bastards. Oh, you delivered them, didn't you? Huh, humans aren't half bad. I'll tell you if I need something done again. Alright. Very nice. Yep, the food at Miname's is so good. It really is different from the food at home. Where do you get your ingredients? I've been coughing a lot lately. Hot soup is just right for this. How do you eat soup and water? Humans are such strange things. How do you eat soup and water? Don't think that should be possible, but then again, I don't know. Been a while since I've seen an episode of SpongeBob. That's a very good question, yes. Seems like it just get all mixed in with the water and everything, and so you just have a bowl of soupy water. Maybe watery soup? I don't know. Well, well. You brought back all the seahorses. They're quite difficult to find. We can now resume our seahorse races. I'll give you a seahorse as thanks for your help. Wasn't quite what I was thinking of in terms of thanks for help, but, you know. Wow, where can I get one? Go speak to Yami, who you can find in front of the racecourse. Hope to see you around in the game, part of the human. She's cute. Oh my, you're the human. I'm Yami. I'm in charge of the seahorse racecourse. I heard you caught all the seahorses that ran off. Thank you so much for that. I heard from Lin Chin already. We'll give you a nice strong seahorse as a gift for your efforts. Cool. Now we can do seahorse racing. Oh, I've seen many seahorses like this elsewhere as well. Can they also race here? Of course. Bring them to me and I'll register them for the races. Since you're here, why don't you try registering your new seahorse? Select the register menu. Select a course and begin a race. Yeah, let's start with course C for starters. Alright, let's do this. Cheer A to increase the seahorse's speed and win the race. If your gauge goes past the green bars, you'll slow down, so be careful. The different grades and types of races. Not too bad. Took home the bronze trophy. Impressive for the first race, alright. Yay, seahorse racing. Could never get the hang of the racing game. It's tricky, I can see that. Tough one, aren't you? need to find that shark. Find where we did battle with the shark. Go! There's the one that swallowed the ball. Alright, fishy. Alright, there we go. Oh yeah, we can do this. Instead of just always shooting at him, just drop a boulder on his head. It's nice that the oxygen tank doesn't go down while you're here. Fish are actually a bit of a specialty of mine. I keep 9 aquariums. Goodness, 9? What sort of fish do you keep, Don? That is a lot of aquariums. Wow, that's the ball. You really brought it back for us. Yeah, it was pretty scary. Your kids stay inside the village from now on, alright? Okay. I guess humans aren't all bad, unlike what we were told. Hope to see you again, human. I technically have 11, but I only run 9 at the moment. All of them are freshwater, mostly in the 10 to 20 gallon range, but also a 65 gallon community tank. Goodness. You just keep fish as pets? Are you doing research, or...? Do you have a fishery business? A home fishery? Your own little fish farm? Is your house SeaWorld? Breeding, research, aquatic gardening, and selling. Oh, alright. Very cool. We're close to getting best taste. to enhance. This is a new animation. I don't think I've seen this before. That's pretty cool. This one cutscene goes so hard it didn't need to. Cousin Ivan got himself in trouble. Something Dimitri can't explain, but Ivan is a biohazard. What sort of biohazard, pray tell? These are my trio of Carino Tetradon Irabesco, more commonly known as the red-eyed dwarf puffer. Oh, that sort of biohazard. Oh dear, yeah. Poor Ivan. Those are pretty cool, Don. Also, interesting how you can fit those into... Fit those into emoji. I love that. That is really cool. What else can we level up here? Angelfish. Emperor Angelfish. Marbled electric ray meat. Okay. I'm going to put those on the menu. Those. Those. And those. And those. Alright. Off we go. Ah, damn. Right, how do we do? That's good. 4.9. More artisan's flame. I have a species of fish known as Melanotania parva, or Lake Kudamoy rainbow fish, that are critically endangered and very few exist in the wild, as they are native to only one small lake in western Papua, Indonesia. Oh, today is the Shark Storm party. We need to go get more shark meat ready. Hey, you're doing God's work, Don. It's important to conserve endangered species like that and to try and repopulate them. What you're doing is really important work. Okay, that explains why so many fish tanks. There you are. Ah! Yeah, I'll just take him back whole. As a hunter and angler, I'm an avid supporter of carefully managed conservation. Yes, exactly. Very important. I love how triggerfish are enemies in this game because they really are assholish fish in real life. Those teeth are no joke. They bite and crush rock-hard corals. Not crushed through anything forged by Dimitri. Now there would be something to put to the test, Dimitri. See if a triggerfish can bite through anything that you forge. That would actually make for some really good content. Come on, don't fight me. Mackerel, yes. Good stuff. It wouldn't Dimitri bet 20k on his work. Yeah, but still. It'd be fun to watch. Fun to watch a triggerfish try to bite through a sword forged by you. Watch it just biting helplessly. You actually have triggerfish to thank for a lot of the best beaches in the world because triggerfish quite literally poop out the white sand people love so much in the tropics. I am never going to look at sand the same way again. Thank you for that, Dom. Thank you for that. So the sand is fish shit. I think that's what we're being told, yes. Okay, the sawfish is weird because they're actually quite shy fish. Yeah, but you know, you need some good-looking baddies in the game. You know how it is. It's entertainment. Oh, I missed. No. Ah. Parrotfish also poops out sand. Interesting. Again, never gonna look at sand the same way again. Dimitri's only had pineapple juice, no alcohol. Was AFK a sec, had to kill a big-ass bug that was on the wall above the doorframe of my room. Hopefully nothing poisonous or dangerous, just a pest. Dimitri not get drunk tonight. Yeah. I've got work in the morning, so can't really do that. Went and looked it up. It was a house centipede. Interesting. Less cursed fact. Porcupine fish are not true pufferfish. Really? Then what are they? How does science define a true pufferfish? I mean, what are the qualities of a true pufferfish then? I guess not all fish who puff are true pufferfish. Oh, damn, another shark. I'm all... Ah, shit! Oh, no, 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 no! No, leave me alone, leave me alone! Whew! That was a close one. That a separate family that had a convergent evolution situation with pufferfish. Oh, I see. The escape pod bark. Couldn't go fast enough, no. You made it, yeah. I brought back some shark meat, too.
Jesus.
See. They've got one more chance to die, but first... Sushi has dots on it. Pretty cute. This is marbled electric ray, right? Indeed it is. We're so close. We need more best taste. The sharks are no match for Lord Rexworth and for Dave. That's why you need the moray eel curry to unlock stuff. Alright, yeah, you know what? We've let that drag on long enough. Hang on a minute. We're going to figure this out here. Submission. Noisy customer. Morays only come out at night. Damn. Okay. I'm going to get that out of the way soon. Night quest, though. You have to wait until after the shark party. Ah. Porcupine fish belong to the Diodontidae family, while true puffers belong to the Tetraodontidae, but both families fall under the Tetraodontiforms order of fish. Huh. Never knew that. Yeah, Sharky, Sharky, Sharky. Come out, whatever you are. Tonight was England food night, Rex. Oh. What sort of English food did you have? Beans. Steak and beans. Yeah. English enough, I guess. There's a shark. And a Betacoda. Fuck! Deal with the Betacuda in short order. No, Dimitri's getting to it. Surprise, Umbolt squid aren't a hostile critter in this game. They are legitimately terrifying. Maybe we'll run into them eventually. There's a white spotted jellyfish. There's plenty of critters to worry about in this game, yes. Like this one. Getting better at fighting off these things. Aha. In Spanish, they're known as Diablo Rojo, or Red Devil, due to some of the attacks on humans. Interesting. Let's look up kilogram to pound conversion runes. So 15 kilos is 33 pounds. Jeez. I ignored a lot. Codfish and chips are French fries, pork pie and battered sausages. England food's okay. Has weird names, doesn't have the flair Spanish food does. That, or is as good as Italian food. Kind of in a league of its own, you know. Well, still, on the whole, not bad. Oh, and Humboldt's squid get up to 110 pounds. Good lord. Ah! Got away from me. There goes another one. Either that or it respawned. Ouch. Be slow going. Hey, whack. So just imagine getting blindsided by a 110-pound squid doing 24 kilometers per hour. 15 mile per hour for the Americans. England food is good, but makes Dimitri gassy. So in other words, it turns you into the biohazard. Hey! Kick. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. My last little drop of Di Serono and Dr. Pepper. Only gas, not a STD box like Cousin Ivan. Yes, only gas. Also, why is the squid so aggressive? Yes, I'm wondering the same thing as well, Don. Yeah, you see that knife? You're next, fishy boy. Dimitri would never give STDs for anyone. That's evil. Dimitri would never do something so evil. No, no, of course not. The worst he'd do is fart in someone's general direction. Or crush head with mace. Yeah, or that. We need to put all of our shark dishes on for tonight. Have anything else shark related? No, doesn't look it. Okay, this is good. We can work with this. Nice. Beautiful. Super fast metabolism. They only live for like a year and are constantly growing, so they need to be almost always hunting and eating, which is why they're one of the few animals that legitimately see humans as a potential food source. Yeah, well, I guess when you're that hungry. STD is worse than crush head with mace. Slow killer that rots body. You crush head with mace, no suffering, only death. Crushed head with mace is mercy killing. Yeah. Still don't understand how you managed to get the perfect beer pour. So what I'm doing is I'm only slightly pushing down on the right analog stick on my controller. So it's a lot like a tap in real life. You cannot open a tap all the way. Otherwise you will get nothing but foam. You can only open it up partially. That way you get more beer than foam. A slightly sillier squid fact, squid brains are donut-shaped and are put around the esophagus of the squid, so squids need to thoroughly chew their food using their toothed tongue, because if they swallow anything bigger than, say, a golf ball, they can accidentally cause serious brain damage and factory reset themselves. Dear Lord. British pub skill. Mission failed. Revenge time. What? The only other animal I know that will actively hunt humans unprovoked on a regular basis are polar bears. Yeah, also, if they get hungry enough, yeah. Essentially look for vortexes on a stormy night. Oh, yeah. Another thing with sharks. Feather coral and lily coral. Dimitri's been to Britain. Didn't like it. Didn't like England. Too much rain. Yeah. It's pretty rainy over there. No, like polar bear, sense of smell is so acute. If one shows up, it's like they've been stalking you for miles away, and the coming attack is 100% premeditated. Seems kind of dickish for the polar bear, then. Dimitri likes Japan, Spain, Italy. Dimitri loves Italy. Italy is a lovely place. Let's see if we can find some of the different types of coral. Scad. Demetrius punched a polar bear in the face. It escaped from the Russian zoo and escaped into wild. Thought it could hunt Dimitri. Certainly showed him, didn't you? Aha! A sharp Japanese sword. They didn't die, but I heard they caught it and brought it back to the zoo. It has shell shock and people scared it. A lesson it will not soon be forgetting. Don't hunt Dimitri and you won't get punched or smashed. Kind of hard to go fishing when you've got a shark that's Little fact, when I started working in seafood, salmon have teeth. Do they really? Never knew. Must be rather tiny teeth. Now they're small and they hurt. Oof. Were you perhaps wearing some sort of protective glove or something at the time, or... I was, thankfully. Yeah, God, might have taken off the tip of your finger if you hadn't. Ball trout. Salmon teeth, not like Smash had with £20 with, what? Oh. Also, fun fact, the absolute worst kind of fish you can handle are sardines. Yeah, they're tiny, slippery little things. Smash hand with heavy forge hammer worse than salmon teeth. Yeah, I'd say that would hurt a lot worse. I mean... Ah, got some feather coral. Good. Lily coral, we needed some more of that. Ah ha ha! Oh, a grenade launcher. Don't have any room to hold anything from mining. One more feather coral. Yeah. Cookie cutter shark. Yeah, we're definitely over the weight limit now. Here you go, boom. Threw a rock at him. I don't know. I'm over the weight limit. I think for now, let's head back to base. Yeah, we're going to be eating good tonight, lads. One more feather coral, that's all we need. It's good that they're marking them with the little blue diamonds. That helps a lot. Otherwise I'd be completely lost. I would not know it when I see it. Red lionfish. Now there's an interesting creature. I'm told that there was actually an overpopulation of sorts in South Florida from people keeping a lot of red lionfish and other exotic types of fish in their aquariums at home or whatever, not realizing that, yeah, these are actually fairly difficult to care for. And so, as a result, there was just an overabundance of lionfish and other poisonous sea critters in the water, and You know, you had beachgoers, for example, getting stung by lionfish. Oh, did not know that. Dimitri might learn to scuba dive in the Bahamas during the winter. Hey, that's always a good pursuit. Sure, that'd be a lot of fun. Dimitri can survive underwater. Underwater treated with same respect. Dimitri's even been skydiving a few times. Hey. Yeah. I just want these fish. I just want some mackerel. Gonna follow me into the depths, Sharky? No, you're not. You're too scared of what's down here. Everyone asks, how do you not plummet to the ground with how big you are? Dimitri, tell them honest. Dimitri, wear a parachute that has 6 parachutes in it in case of failure, so Dimitri has 6 chances before plummet to ground. Huh. Plenty of opportunities. If you can't make it in 6, it just wasn't meant to be. Better safe than dead, yes. Safety first, that sort of thing. Let's look around here for just a bit, see if we can... Hey! Forgot I needed coral pottage for the sea person at the workshop. All the ingredients have been gathered. I'll ask Bancho to make it. That's fantastic. Dimitri still has fun. See couple engaging in the nasty bumping while in the sky. They really wanted to join the Mile High Club. Yay, got the coal, yeah. Ouch. Can they join the Forge Master Club? Only Master Blacksmiths can join. Uh-huh. A ratified club. Oh, 2 Barracudas. Ah, that's close enough. Oh yes, it's getting closer to Halloween. Coral pottage. Something I've made before. Yes, there's another 6C person. Here's the ingredient. Alright, hand it over to me. Here. Corals. I don't imagine them tasting good. Thank you, Bancho. Awesome. I can take this to the C person at the workshop. Charisma increases permanently. Why does Rex have ninja? Jeez, those stats. Why not have a ninja at a sushi restaurant? Yeah, exactly. Plus, I mean, look at her. She's cute. True, like asking why I have a blacksmith at a blacksmith shop. Yes. Yes, Hidia cooked rocks. Dimitri, drink water now. Too much pineapple juice. Yeah, bounce it out with some water. I trained as a ninja for several years, but it wasn't easy making a living as a ninja. Leave it all to me, my lord. Good girl, you called me my lord. Opening only for the evening, but I'm too exhausted at such a late hour. Okay, let's put together a menu. Ninja show him the forbidden technique, spread legs jujutsu. Let's see, is there anything else? Yeah. Benito, level 4. Blue spotted stargazer. A lot to choose from here. Steamed wolf eel. Alright, we'll put it on. Atlantic mackerel sushi, hell yeah. Alright, let's do this. Dimitri doesn't show off in the forge like that. Have a chance to smash her own head with mace by being dangerous. Oh good, they both know how to serve tea. Thank God. Dimitri believes in safety in the forge. Yes, safety first in all things. Some kind of mail is here. Shall I check it? Hello everyone, this is the Spice Lab. We researched the perfect combination of various spices and ingredients. We've heard that the waters of the Blue Hole are like a world's fair that exhibit all kinds of marine species. What kind of palatal surprises shall we find when various fish and spices meet? We'll embark on this culinary journey in 3 days. Our chosen ingredient is curry. Curry is well known for its anti-cancer and anti-dementia properties. Meet the new taste of the Blue Hole at the party. The Spice Lab. Didn't know it had anti-cancer and anti-dementia properties. Curry night is always difficult because it's not just certain fish you need, but curry blocks and other commission items. Oh. Interesting. That's an actual thing, by the way. Curry is known for mental health improvement. Sounds like I'm overdue for a curry. Dimitri likes curry. It's been too long since I've had one. Oh, it's coral porridge. You should eat it and rest. How can a human make our food? Put it there and go. I have to check if it's poisoned. What an unreasonable sea person. Ugh, whatever. "95 out of 100. We're getting there. We are getting there." Wait a minute. Exclamation mark somewhere. What's going on here? The Golden Clam. That's not a proper forge. That's baby's first forge. Yeah, well, you know, it's sea people. Darling, you don't look well. Is something wrong? Oh, human. My cute Sergio's disappeared. Sergio? Yes, he's my purple pet squid. He was gone when I woke up. Well, he's disappeared before. He followed the shining jellyfish. A shining jellyfish? Human, can you please find Sergio for me? He's timid, but put this high-quality food nearby when he's calm to lure him. Got it. I'll try luring him with the food. The whistle, since he has the money. Oh, yes, that's right. I do have the money, don't I? Hey! Got one. Right. Nope. Nice. Okay, so you got one. Big deal. So did I. Suka. Name is Dave. Dave! Suka called Dave Dave. No. Fuck. Alright, this isn't bad. Ah, I can't believe it. I was beaten by a human. This hurts my pride. Well, a promise is a promise. Take this. It's the beluga whistle. Give it to that lady over there. Oh, I am impressed, human. This is it, the beluga whistle. Well done. But what? You need Bay to summon and ride the beluga. I went bankrupt playing games with that dude. Hey, you can have this whistle. What? Well, I don't even know how to use it. Huh, it's easy. You just blow this whistle anywhere in the village to call the beluga. Though you'll need to pay some Bay to ride the beluga. Well, I'm sure with your skills you can easily make money from the game parlor, no doubt. Oh, should summon the beluga and have to cover a large distance. Alright, and with that, we've earned the trust of the villagers. Summon a beluga using the down button on the D-pad. No active requests, alright. Shut up. Why Suka whine? It seems the villagers seem to trust you quite a lot. I'd first like to thank you for everything you've done for our village. It seems everyone's friendlier than I thought. I don't trust you fully just yet, but we could use all the help we could get right now. Let me explain to you about this village a bit. Did you see the tree at the center of the village? Yes, it was huge and covered in ice. Yes, we call it the Divine Tree. We use the fruit of this tree as an energy source. The tree has its roots far below the bottom, using the geothermal heat to create energy. Because the fruits are created from this energy, there's a giant glacier under this tree. That is, under our village. A glacier on the sea bottom? I never heard of such a thing. But as of late, the heat coming from deep in the earth has grown hotter, melting the ice slowly. As the temperature of the tree increases, more and more villagers are falling ill. We keep praying to King Long, but we know things aren't so simple as that. We need to check on the glacier below the surface. Because we've relied on only agriculture for so long, we don't have the equipment or technology to explore down there, embarrassing as it is. That's why I told you we need the humans' help. I must admit, it is now our only option, my daughter. In any case, I know it's a difficult task, but will you check out the glacial area below the village for us? Sounds pretty dangerous, but alright. There'll be more tremors on the surface as well. I think this might all be connected somehow. Thank you. We'll be sure to recompense you somehow. Now then, you'll need the key down to the glacial passage. The key. Wait, where's the key? Tenzin, when we sealed the glacial passage, we put the key inside the abandoned cave, remember? Oh dear, you're right. I sense something's not right again. Human, go and get the key to the glacial passage from the abandoned cave. Suam will take you there. It's not dangerous, is it? Ah! Nothing's happened there for the last century. No one's ventured in there for 100 years. Anyways, we need to find out what's going on in the glacier zone before it's too late. It's getting late, so come back tomorrow when the sun is up. Suam will guide you on this path. Alright then. Out to the village we go. And then where's... Ah, here we go. Head back to the boat. Right, going to save it here. All right, Dimitri, go to bed now. Good night. Good night, Dimitri. Sleep well. Progress. Indeed, indeed. I think that's a good note to leave it there for now. And we will find someone to raid. Who shall we raid? See a few people that we might be able to raid. Let's see. Chat, what are we in the mood for? Do we want to see someone working on some art? Do we want... Let's see what else we've got going on. Thought I saw another category, but it looked like somebody signed off. Oh, you know what? I don't think we've ever raided this person. They're playing some cool retro games. We're going to go raid Empress Chronicle. They are playing Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. It's our first playthrough on that. Let's do that. Let's go say hello to Empress Chronicle. There's the copy pasta. Right. I will see all of you on Thursday for more Deus Ex Revision. Have a great week. Have a great Tuesday and Wednesday. And no stream on Thursday. Got an IRL thing. Or no, stream on Friday, rather. And then back on Saturday. I'm Lord Rexworth. Wishing you all the best, and God bless.